Welcome to Finding Freedom with Digital Products. My name is Stacey L. Daniel. I am the founder of the Black Life Insurance Agents of America community, and we're here every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, where we connect for about 30 minutes and talk about how I've risen to the top 1%, thriving in the industry since 2008, all because I've integrated digital products, funnels, and automations in my business. Even though I started in 2008, I transitioned my business online in 2017, and I haven't looked back since. Today, guys, we're talking about what are the 3 tactics that, even though they create a lot of money in the short term in our life insurance industry, we've been taught this, they're actually stopping, blocking, sabotaging what it is that we want ultimately, which is financial freedom. And if you want to know more, stay tuned. 3 outdated tactics blocking life agents' financial stability is what we're talking about today. If you don't know, we started this community in 2020, and I created it so that I can teach you how to make more money with fewer leads, right? I was teaching you how to shorten the quarter from interest to income, or better yet, increase your closing ratio by 90%. And there were several different tactics that I was teaching. Was my advanced sales strategies. Well, in today's market, guys, advanced sales strategies are wonderful. The old archaic life insurance tactics still work as well. But with the economy, with our mindset, with our families, with just a change of the landscape of how people shop and how they're looking for the financial professional or looking to connect with people, we have to change as well. Doing the same things that we did back in the day will work, but there's a more effective, more efficient way of doing things. And today we're going to talk about the 3 ways that I've integrated in my business to the tune of 6 figures in insurance and 6 figures in digital products. And I want you to do the same. Join us next week when we talk about how you're going to transition that statement from life insurance to some of the other things that I've been doing, which you know is digital products. How do you comfortably and seamlessly strike up that conversation? How do you pivot the conversation confidently and close the person that you're talking to, whether they buy insurance product or not? So that means we're getting paid before, during, and after the insurance appointment, even if they don't show up. So if you ask the question, how do I monetize my tire kickers? How do I monetize my quote seekers, my looky-loos? This is how you do it. But before we even get to that, we're talking today about the 3 different outdated tactics that traditional life agents have been taught and successfully used, but they're actually blocking our financial stability. If you want to watch the replay, make sure you join us over on YouTube. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know in the comment section if you have any questions. I wet your whistle with just a little bit of the things that I've been doing and how I've been helping my agents to be successful in their business. If you want to implement any of the tactics that we talk about, join us in the Virtual Life Insurance Agent Academy. There are 2 different tracks that you can go on. One is for the person who's trying to learn how to leverage social media, how to start or grow their virtual life insurance business. And then the other one is for those who are successful already and they're ready to automate their business, make more time for life, and create predictable paychecks in between their commission drops and their chargebacks, and keep the people close to them that are interested so that they don't have to buy another lead and they don't have to do the same tactics that we've been doing in order to keep a consistent, healthy, strong sales pipeline. So click the link in the comment section so you can look at the details and find out more about that. The last thing I want to mention is, if you want a reminder, you want to join me live and you want me to answer your questions for you, then there's also a link in the comment section where you can get a live reminder. Go ahead and click that link as well. All right, so let's get into it, y'all. I want to get started so we can get in and get out, because I promised myself 30 minutes is the time that I've allotted for us to be together on a weekly basis. That's all it takes, right? I'm starting this segment, number 1, with a question. If you were still connected with at least 50, say even 25% of all of the people that you have had some type of financial services conversation with in the past, how would your business be different right now? Meaning, anybody who you've done a quote for, anybody who you've been prospecting, anybody who was a lead, any leads that you purchased, any referrals, any friends, any family members, anybody who was at a vending event, if you were still in contact with at least 50% of those, maybe even 25% of them, and they were still following your journey, how do you think your business would be different today? That's the question. You know, there's a better way to do what we're currently doing, which is constantly trying to get new leads, constantly trying to have new conversations, paying for these stranger conversations. I'm actually going to give you money to give me the list of names and numbers of somebody that's a stranger who doesn't know me, and then I'm going to try to sell them something that's life-altering, a lifetime commitment if it's a whole life policy, and will require me to learn, look into, and uncover the rocks on their health, their finances, their choices, their family, all of that, right? And I'm really putting the pressure on them to make a decision immediately. You know, that's a tactic that if you are good at it and the numbers are good, you 100% will make a lot of money. I'm speaking from experience, okay? You 100% will make a lot of money, but guess what it's constantly doing? If I'm only just seeking for conversation, and the numbers and activity and find more people, and, you know, if you get a chargeback, don't worry about it. Just do more activity, and then they'll take the money out. These are conversations that I was having. They'll take the money out, but then you'll be having activity coming in and policies that'll be issued, so it'll just balance itself out. Take it from somebody who's had a vector report. It's not a fun thing. I've never had a vendor debt, but I definitely had a nice size vector report. And if you don't know what that is when you have credit or enough chargebacks on the book in your name, whether it's yours or it's from your downline, right? Because it rolls up, then there's a report they have for you. And if you try to get a new contract with another carrier, one of the questions are, do you owe any money to any financial services carrier? I don't know exactly the words verbatim, but you know the question, and you would have to answer yes, and you would have to fill out any yes questions that you have to fill out a form. And so I had a vector report. So how did I get rid of the vector report? Well, I had to essentially file bankruptcy. That's not how you get rid of it, but I had to file bankruptcy due to other things that was going on in my life. And this was after I've been in the industry for several years and was very successful. Personal life got in tune with my business life, and I ended up having to file bankruptcy. That's when I learned that bankruptcy is actually a blessing. And I'm using this as a tangent to let you know, if you're a life insurance agent and your finances are keeping you stuck, you're chasing leads, you've been paying for leads, you outrunning chargebacks or a vector report, and you're trying to figure out, how do I get my finances in order, then come talk to me, because I am a wealth strategist to life insurance agent. So that means not just teaching you about sales, but how do I protect the money that I have? All right. So what we're talking about today will affect how much money you're making. But what we're not talking about enough is, how do I protect it? How do I make sure I have the financial foundation in my business, correct profit plan and things situated so that I'll always generate money and I always protect it. All right. So I thought that was important to mention right there. But nevertheless, so the tactic is that we've been taught that's keeping us from having the financial security and peace of mind that we're wanting as of number one is just do more activity. Just do more activity, plain and simple. Not try to make the most of every encounter, not try to keep a connection and maintain the relationship, even if they don't want insurance right now. You know, just think about it. Anybody who you talk to that actually shows up to an appointment, that actually engages with you, that actually has reached out to you, there's something about you that has piqued their interest. And whether or not they purchase a policy today or not, they still have made some judgment about you, and you have checked some boxes on what they consider to be credible, valuable, valid, worthy, have the intelligence and experience that they're willing to share some information with. How about we capture that and keep that close and nurture it and turn it into something else, as opposed to, well, you're not ready for insurance, you're not valuable to me and my goals. How about we consider or create different types of goals that's other than just the completion of an application and the issuance of a policy? Because what if their health isn't up to par? And, well, I guess you could do a guaranteed issue, but what if the bottom line is, what if they have other people that they're connected with that they can lend you their audience? Instead of saying, can I get a referral? Remember we used to say, take your phone out and let me know the last 5 to 10 people that you've talked to. Give me their names and number, and I'm going to use them as a referral. Time out for that. How about everybody's on social media? Whether you're on social media or not, you can leverage this tool and you can leverage other people's audiences if you have the correct system in place to make a good opportunity, turn it into a long-lasting relationship. The first question I ask you is, what if you were still in contact with like 50% of the people that you've ever had a conversation with? That means having some type of follow-up, maintenance, system, organization in place so that you can continue to stay connected to them, not manually. We're not calling for annual call. We're not checking to see, hey, you need a policy. But social media funnels and an optimized back office system that's running automations is how you would stay the connection. But you know what else? Finding other ways to talk to them, pique their interest, and figure out other things that they're needing, that they're already purchasing on their journey to mental health, on their journey to strong financial foundation, right? If you find other ways to open that door, even though that door is not leading to insurance, then you've created a longer relationship. So the question becomes, how do I, once I figure out that this person that I'm talking to doesn't want insurance, how do I pivot it to a digital product? Digital products is essentially what has helped me, and I said it in the beginning, what has helped me to stay in the business despite all of life's chaos and the industry's volatility. I've been able to stay in the industry and thrive because digital products is interwoven into what I do. So you might be asking, well, how do I go from having a conversation about insurance and go into digital products? I'm glad you asked, because next week, that's exactly what we're going to talk about. How do you seamlessly, comfortably, effortlessly, confidently, every single time, and use automation, pivot the conversation from insurance, from somebody who's deemed you to be somebody that they trust, that you're credible, you're a fiduciary, and I would like to maintain the conversation, learn from you, and even make you position you or agree to let you hire you, so to speak, to be my licensed financial professional, which is a long-term relationship. Then you get paid before, during, and after the appointment. So if you're wondering how in the world, Stacey, are you integrating these digital products? Not which digital product, but how do I even have the conversation? How do I even start it? Just tune in next week, because that's what we're going to be talking about. All right, so why doesn't the current tactic of finding anybody, paying for leads, or just doing more activity isn't sufficient? Because when you do more, you're not building a relationship, strengthening a relationship. You're not going deeper. You're just trying to figure out, it's a yes or no. Yes or no. Do you want some insurance? Do you want a quote? Did you like the quote? Do you want to start? No. Then you don't have anything other than that. You're not making the most of every encounter. We are not taught to make the most of every encounter. So once you say no, or I try enough times, you may not say anything. You just ghost me. What do we normally do? We're on to the next. Instead of finding a way to keep them close, you need to have a system in place that will nurture them, connect with them, continue to show them why you are the person that should be someone that's in their life, whether it's insurance or not, and get them to then lend you to their other audience, their other family, their friends, their circle of influence, without having to say, can you give me some referrals? That is the alternative that I've been doing, and I teach my agents to do inside of the Virtual Life Insurance Agent Academy. And make sure you click the link in the comment section if you want to know more about it. So that's number one. If you have any questions, put them in the comment section, and I'll address them. Number two. The second outdated tactic that we're taught as a traditional life insurance agent that's 100% blocking your financial stability is this. I'm going to ask you a question, just like I did the first time. I'm going to ask you a question, and that's going to drive the point home even more. Are you familiar with the 3-foot rule? The 3-foot rule is a sales tactic. And it had me out there feeling like a life insurance hustler. I was slinging insurance policies. That's what I felt like. I felt like an insurance dealer. Because no matter where I'm at, you're supposed to, within 3 feet, have the conversation with somebody, strike up a conversation and see, do they need some insurance? And you know what? People are still doing it. I was having a messenger coffee chat I think it was about maybe 5 days ago. And yes, I have messenger coffee chats as opposed to 15-minute consultations, because I'd rather talk with you on my messenger, chat with you, audio or text. And feel free to DM me if you have any questions, because that way I can answer your questions and you can answer my questions, and we can carry on with our day without having to have a dedicated time. And it may take a couple of days to kind of figure out what's the best next step as far as a paid product or service. But I don't have to have a calendar full of appointments, and you don't either. And we can just have the conversation to flow naturally. So that's a messenger coffee chat. You may want to consider it. So I was having a messenger coffee chat with a fellow agent from the Black Life Insurance Agents of America community. And she was mentioning to me, she says, yeah, I was getting my nails done the other day, and I actually struck up a conversation about insurance. And I'm thinking, whoa. I remember that was me at the movie theater, at the grocery store, at the gas station. I cringe now thinking about it, because I'm an outgoing agent, so I didn't have a problem when they said, and I was in network marketing too, so when they said do 3-foot rule, I was like, okay, well, I love to talk anyway. But you know what? I never realized how off-putting that could be to somebody who's sitting there enjoying their spa day at the nail shop, getting some gas on their way to pick their kids up from daycare, just leaving work. They're not in the position, they're not in the mind frame to think or talk about something as serious as, is your family prepared for the fact that you might die without warning? You know what I'm saying? That's like, what? You know what I mean? It's the same situation though, if you think about it, on social media. Are you just automatically jumping in somebody's inbox saying, hey, is your family, or when you post it and you say, hey, it's those scare tactics. People are coming to social media to have fun. Most people are coming to social media nowadays, not most, but enough of us, to sell their business or make money, rather. You know what I mean? They're not necessarily looking and thinking about something. And I used to wonder why people say that's such a negative conversation. It's not a negative conversation to somebody who's realizing that you need to get it because I want to help you. But for somebody who's just going through their day, not thinking about it, and all of a sudden you drop that's a heavy conversation. So you haven't set them up at all to have that conversation. It can be quite off-putting, and that's what we've been doing. And so you leave a bad taste in the person's mouth. You feel like I am trying to convince you, or, it affects your self-esteem depending on their body language, their response. It doesn't work trying to prospect and ask every single prospect about insurance. What we should be doing is prospecting, but then prospecting to take them to a place that they can learn more about us, and we can gradually have that conversation when they're ready. For example, there's a difference between a prospect and a lead. I shouldn't try to sell you until I make sure that you are a quality lead. There are 4 factors that make you a quality lead. Everybody who has a conversation or is even willing to have a conversation with me about insurance isn't a lead, but we treat them both the same. We actually treat, with the 3-foot rule, every single human person with a breath in their body the same. Every single person, like, oh my God, there are 3.5 billion people on all meta apps. 3.5, I should definitely be talking to every single one of them. I don't have an ideal client. No, honey. That is absolutely the way to burn out, to lose credibility, to have people looking at you like, oh, here she come. You don't want that. So how about we have some parameters to know an ideal client? How about we have some parameters to know I'm only going to offer insurance after they have met certain criteria? And how about, instead of me trying to talk to every person, then how about I market qualify them? What does a market qualified lead mean, Stacey? I'm glad you asked. That means just because I have a conversation with you, how about I offer you to follow me on social media? How about I let you know what I do if the conversation comes up, and allow you to go through an automated system of learning about me? Your reputation should precede you. They should learn about you, who you've helped, why you're passionate, what differentiates you from someone else, because everybody and their mom sells insurance. They should know your mission and what type of agent are you, and what type of client are you looking for, and what type of insurance do you sell, and why is that insurance so important to you, and how did you get into the industry? All these different things that they should know so that they can make an informed decision about you. Otherwise, you have the conversation and they're a little put off, so their guard is up. It feels pushy because you are being pushy. Hey, I didn't even give you permission to have such a conversation. I didn't even let you know that I feel comfortable revealing that information. It ain't none of your business if I got some insurance. You can turn a conversation into a relationship simply by letting them know, yes, I do sell insurance. Yes, I am a financial professional. Yes, I do care about the state of my community's legacy and wealth protection, but that's just one part of me. And so I love for us to stay connected. Follow me on social media. Everybody you know should be following me on social media. That's why creating content and letting the algorithm show them your content on a regular basis so that they can start formulating an opinion about you, deciding whether or not they want you to be that person, that they are revealing all of their financial choices, mistakes, their desires, their income level, their medication too. And then even when you have a list of leads, this is a bonus. When you get a list of leads, make this one tweet and then hit me up in my DM or put a post in our Black Life Insurance Agents of America community to let me know if it worked. When you have a list of leads, when you call them and introduce yourself and then invite them to follow you on social media, as opposed to inviting them into an appointment and then letting them know once you get on social media, you'll learn more about me and the things that I do, and you'll have an opportunity to set up an appointment when you're ready. I just was calling to confirm that you are in shopping for insurance or may have been shopping for insurance. Well, I wanted to provide you with some education and some resources to see if we are a good fit, and then let them come to you. The conversation is different. Try it. As opposed to doing it the way we've been doing it right now. All right. And so we need to have a more of a surgical approach. Know who we're talking to, know if they're a quality lead or not. And then, you know what I'm about to say, if they're not a quality lead, the conversation shouldn't be over. How do I pivot that into turning you into a customer in the form of a digital product? Because you might not want to buy insurance. You might not want to buy insurance from me, but you are buying other things that has something to do with your mental health, your financial literacy, your kids' financial literacy, your debt, your retirement income, things you want to buy when you do retire, your mental wealth, meaning your peace of mind, learning how to unlearn old habits, taking care of elderly parents. So there are various things that your ideal insurance client, or at least your almost ideal insurance client, is looking for. And why not be the person that they can get from? You be the person that they can get it from, because either they're going to buy from you or they're going to buy from someone else. But people are buying these things because they're looking for help. And so if you build that relationship and you sell it to them in the form of a digital product because they went to your virtual store, because you struck up a conversation about life in general, and you happen to throw in there that you do sell insurance, but I'm not trying to sell you some insurance, I would like you to follow me on social media. You have, in a roundabout way, created a friend. Not a friend that you might have dinner with, but somebody who's willing to listen and learn, and just you left a better taste in their mouth than, hey, you need some insurance. So the 3-foot rule, yes, but not, do you need some insurance? Find some other way. You should have some pillars in your brand to talk about. My pillars are, I learned from my first divorce that I had to not be a Mustang at home. I have multiple awards and accolades in sales and speaking and training when I work. At home, I'm my husband's wife. And I like being a wife. I am not the head of household, and I am okay with it, right? I had to learn that. I love Black love. I am also an only child. I was an elderly caretaker. I currently live in Mexico, so I'm an expat. There's a lot of different things that's a part of I'm a Taurus. That's a part of my brand story. So those are conversations that you can have about people, and then sneak in there what you do, but don't make that the priority or the primary conversation topic. And then invite them to follow you. They'll get to know you. They'll get to like you. They'll see that you're relatable. They'll see that you're authentic and transparent and confident. And then they'll say, and maybe I want to buy some insurance. But as long as you have digital products as a secondary, they may not buy the insurance, but they'll buy the other things, because people pay for and buy things from people that they like. I hope that makes sense. And guess what? If you're like, well, how do I have a conversation? How do I strike up a conversation, pivot it to insurance, and then pivot it away? Make sure you follow me, and make sure you watch us next week as we talk about how do you transition from an insurance conversation into an insurance conversation from something else, while not being too pushy, and it's seamless, and gaining a follower or friend in the process, right? All right, so that was number 2. The archaic way of doing things is we're just doing a 3-foot rule, having a conversation with anybody about insurance. We're jumping in DMs, trying to have a conversation with anybody about insurance. We're creating posts, asking people, do you need some insurance? And we should be creating posts, asking people, telling people about who we are, who we've helped, and let them come to us, because it's a different type of conversation. If you have a lead pre-qualifying funnel, when they come into your world, they get to answer questions. They get to figure out more about you before they actually get to you, right? All right. So that's the second thing. Stop trying to sell insurance to everybody. Stop trying to sell insurance to everybody. And number 3, have you ever felt like a data entry clerk and then felt used and abused when the person who you completed the quote for didn't purchase from you and they ghosted you? You know why? Because you're invested more than they are. You haven't heard, stop. You give away the milk for free and they won't buy the cow, or they won't buy the cow if you give the milk away for free. My mom, rest her, so you just say that all the time. And so if we're giving you the quote, get you to give us the information, your age, your date of birth. Are you a smoker? Do you have any pre-existing health concerns? When was the last time you've been hospitalized? Have you ever been declined? The basics to creator. If we get all of that and then shoot them a quote, we have given them everything they need. Why do they need to follow up with us? We've done the work and then felt dropped afterwards. Why do we feel dropped afterwards? Because they may or may not purchase. And now we're chasing. You know, another time that we feel like a data entry clerk or feel used and abused and have a silent resentment from the people that we're trying to help, when you buy a lead. So you're like, I done paid for this list. How dare you not answer the phone call? How dare you hang up on my face? How dare you tell me I'm not interested? They get the right to tell you they're not interested. They don't even know you. They probably don't even remember when they wrote it or fill out the form. So we need to have a better tactic of getting people to invest a little bit in us, in their process, before we deem them to be somebody that I'm going to put forth some work or some effort in. And so that's a tactic that's taught. Get the lead, take down the information, and then create a quote. Or even if you don't create a quote, get their information, contact information only, schedule an appointment, show up to an appointment, and now you ghost me. I'm feeling used and abused, like you just stood me up like a date. My whole feelings is hurt. Why? Because if you make yourself too available, my mom used to tell me this, if you make yourself too available, Stacy, for the guy, he's not going to respect you. Make him wait a little bit. Make him get out the car and come and knock on the door. Don't run outside when he's outside in the middle of the street blowing his horn, and you go running out in the middle of the street. Don't let him come and get you at a certain time. Put some restrictions, some boundaries, and some parameters up. That's what she taught me. And it made a whole lot of sense, though at 16, I didn't think so. I must admit. But we have to have some parameters and some boundaries. And we need to make our prospects, because they're just prospects. You prospect by doing different things to create conversations and opportunities with people. But we don't know if those people got the money, willing, they have the desire, or even care or trust us to move forward. So a prospect and a lead is not the same thing. A lead has to prove themselves to us, just like we have to prove ourselves to them before we do anything. I'm not going to put you on my calendar and agree to a time to talk to you when you haven't done anything. And now I'm all dressed to impress, and I'm coming on Zoom, and you don't even show up. I'm emotionally involved. And you don't show up? Oh my goodness. So the topic of today is 3 tactics that we're taught that's blocking our financial stability. If you don't feel good, you don't make good money. If you spend all your time talking to people and they don't show up, then you don't have a consistent flow of revenue. We end up having to have 20 appointments on our book. So you got to do the energy that it takes to create 20 appointments, and only 7 of them show up. But they show up and they haven't been pre-qualified, so they may or may not value you. Come to the appointment prepared to take action the same day. And so now only 3 of them close. I've done all this work to get 3 appointments. No wonder we're running around like a chicken with his head cut off, and our money is unstable, and we feel like hustlers, and we leave the industry. How about not only are we integrating digital products, but that allows me to only meet with certain people. I'm going to pre-qualify you, and my reputation should precede itself. And I'm going to let you know some of the other things that I do. So by the time we get to our appointment, you already know, hey, you sell digital products. Hey, you've been in the industry this long. Hey, you helped this person. Hey, I was doing a little bit of research about you. It's called a pre-qualifying appointment. So they're prepared to take action. They're primed because that means they like you. They're excited about you. And they're pre-qualified because now you know a little bit about them as well. And now we agree to meet up in an appointment. And you know how much money they make. You know what pre-existing health concerns they have, whether they got a policy at work. These are some of the things that you would set up inside of your pre-qualified appointment funnel that we teach you inside of the Virtual Life Insurance Agent Academy. But I show up, I can tell that you are just as invested as I am. We don't just up and marry anybody willy-nilly. We got to see, is you gonna bring me something? You gonna buy me something? You gonna take me somewhere? Are you gonna introduce me to some people? I'm not just gonna marry you because, you know what I'm saying? There has to be, we got to court them. You have to court your leads as well. When you do so, then you only spend time with the people who are willing to spend time with you, and they value you. You introduce yourself to them before they show up. So they come to the table prepared, and they respect you. And so when you can have these things in place, then it increases your close ratio. It increases your retention. It increases the likelihood that they're going to introduce you to somebody else. It increases your ability to make a repeat customer, because now that I've talked to you about insurance, I definitely want to talk about you about some of these other things that you said that you're interested in, because I've already been gathering information from you. So I know what you like, and I know what you're interested in. I know what your household dichotomy looks like. And so I know some of the other things that I can offer you, right? And so that's a little sneak peek into next week's conversation, which is how do I transition the conversation from insurance and to insurance in order to turn you into a repeat customer as well as a life insurance client, because I like to make money before, during, and after the appointment. In conclusion, as I mentioned before, your reputation should precede you. You should be asking and qualifying the people that you're talking to. You should make sure that you make the most of every encounter that you do talk to, and don't make it just do you want some insurance or no. Do you want some insurance and right? And that way you can monetize those tire seekers, quote seekers, those looky-loos and those lurkers, and turn them actually into loyal leads. And you'll always have a pool of warm people that are excited to connect with you, whether it's insurance or whether it's something else. And they're excited to share you with all of the people that they know, because they believe in what you're doing. They trust you, they have some relatability with you, and they can see that you're consistent and quality, and it just makes the world of difference and the track of your relationship, as opposed to you just calling, making them feel some kind of way, or you just having a conversation, making them feel some kind of way, or you just jumping in their inbox, making them feel some kind of way. You are now attracting relationship, and emotions is your currency. All right, guys. And so this has been 3 outdated life insurance tactics that's blocking our financial stability, that make us a whole lot of money if we do it right. It will be consistent, but having a whole lot of appointments, conversations, and isn't going to get me longevity in my business. I'd rather have quality conversations, quality relationships, and quality introductions. I'd rather turn people into brand ambassadors. I'd rather have a pre-qualifying process to make sure you are as equally invested as I am. And I'd rather find a way to turn you into more than just an insurance client, so that you can, because once you buy an insurance, you buy it, and then if there's a whole life policy, they don't buy it anymore. But I need to leverage that good energy that we just had into other ways. And that's how you create a consistent flow of revenue for yourself. That's how I've been able to make it and stay and thrive since 2008 in the life insurance business, which puts me in the top 1%, and how I've been able to generate 6 figures in insurance and 6 figures in life insurance. And you can too, just like my agents are doing it. So make sure you click the link in the comment section, find out more about the Virtual Life Insurance Agent Academy, and I'll see you next week. Bye.